He goes out there today at 43 and performs like he's 33.
Yeah.
But I think he needs a change in environment so he has an opportunity.
What's going on, everybody? It's Dr. Chris Featherstone here for yet another episode of Writing with Russo. Listen, man, Writing with Russo, we always give you the coolest information and insights. And this night is no different because we're going to talk about one of the biggest buzzing topics going on for this coming weekend is the WWE Draft, SmackDown, and Raw. So we're going to play a little game. All right. Everybody wants to do the draft and who's going where and all that. That's cool. You know, that's going to be everywhere. But of course, the doctor and the bro, we have to put a spin to it, Vince. So I told you that we're going to play a game. I'm going to show you a picture of a current Raw star because everybody knows we do Raw, you and I. I'm going to show you a picture of a current Raw star. You're going to tell me, do they stay or do they go?
Before we get to that, doctor, I'm a little concerned for my doctor.
Okay. I
saw a photo online that was taken in a car.
Okay.
And the doctor was in the foreground.
That's correct. Yes.
And I seen two little boys in the background.
That's correct.
And when I'm looking at these two little boys, I'm seeing nothing but trouble. Dr. Chris, I saw nothing but what is it? Mischievous. Are everything under control?
All things are good, man.
All right, bro, because I'm looking at these two kids and I'm like, I can spot trouble a mile away. Doc. You all right, Dr. Chris? Is the house in order?
Oh, yeah, man.
Okay. All right. I just wanted to make sure, bro.
The king holds a scepter when it comes to the Featherstone household.
All right.
So,
we are going to look at pictures, and it's kind of like the should I stay or should I
go now?
Okay, I got you. All right, here we go.
Should I stay or should I go now?
Okay, here we go. Let's do the thing.
All right, you ready?
Yes.
Now here's the thing: we can make this. We could even one up this. We could do a drum roll before all of them.
Let's do it. People love the drum roll. Drum roll's over, man. Let's do it.
Indeed. The drum roll's over.
Yes.
All right. So, ladies and gentlemen, the first Raw current superstar. Do they stay or do they go? Here we go. Bobby Lashley.
Yeah, Bobby's got to stay. No doubt about it. Bobby's got to stay. But Chris, I mean, the up and down and the yo-yoing. Bobby, I don't understand why Bobby can't be of Brock status.
Agreed.
Man, bro, I think we both believe, bro, because I think we both called him when we saw it. Bobby kind of got himself over. I don't think they had these big plans for Bobby to keep the belt on for as long as they did. He got himself over. He got Vince to take notice.
Yep.
This is a man, bro, you've got to keep over.
100% agree, because at the end of the day, you have to think in your head, Raw's the flagship show, or at least it's supposed to be. You already have the strongest heel in all of professional wrestling right now, Roman Reigns. You don't want to overshadow the potential amazing, huge, strong heel that was basically organic and essentially self-made within Bobby Lashley.
Yep.
It was all signs pointed to the fact that he was just going to be a transitional champion. When he won when he won a few weeks before Mania, it just seems like he was going to be a transitional champion. It was talked to even the year before that Drew was going to have his big moment in front of fans. He didn't get that moment because it was an empty arena when he won the title. First of all, this year in front of fans, that was the plan for months and months and months.
Yep.
He wanted that big heel to have that big moment against. And Lashley basically organically made himself that. And it seemed like they were like, man, you can't pull the plug on this because you finally have that big heel. And so it showed that he has the capacity to be in that spot. So no need to put him under Reigns.
No, bro. And again, I wonder. I mean, I wonder, Chris, was this a situation where Bobby got the spot and maybe he asked for more money? Because I don't know, bro, but you had a guy that was so strong that all of a sudden over a couple of weeks, the guy's so beatable.
Yeah.
When I see stuff like that, that's when, with me, that's always a red flag that, okay, bro, something happened behind the scenes that we don't know about, because that just makes no sense.
Agreed. And losing consecutively after being unbeatable for, for 4 or 5 months. So, all right. You ready?
Yes.
Here we go. AJ Styles. Does he stay or does he go, Vince? Does he stay or does he go, Vince?
I think, okay, if it's me booking, right? If it's me booking, I got to say so in these calls, right?
Mm-hmm.
I'm saying AJ goes, and I'll tell you why, bro. They've made AJ just another name on the roster.
Yep.
And AJ deserves so much more than that. Mm-hmm. And I think it would be very, very difficult for them to give him new life on the same stage and the same show. But I think if you switch him over to SmackDown, you do have the opportunity to inject him with some new life. And that's what storyline ways, that's what he needs right now, bro. He needs a change. AJ needs nothing on AJ, Chris. Nothing on AJ. He goes out there today at 43 and performs like he's 33. Yeah. But I think he needs a change in environment so he has an opportunity. And hey, bro, I'm going to ask you this. Why couldn't he be a believable babyface against Roman Reigns?
You know what? You took that right out of my mouth, Vince, because I was just about to say that. I think that AJ Styles should be the next top babyface on SmackDown.
Right.
I think right now what you have is that you just have a revolving door of babyfaces, which isn't necessarily a bad thing because it just makes Roman Reigns looks good for the one who dethrones him. That's the reason people kept saying Finn Balor should be the one who beats him. No, I say no to that because I don't think out of you built Roman Reigns. Roman Reigns hasn't lost a match in 2 years. And Finn Balor's been pushing up and down 50-50 NXT main roster. Finn's not the guy that should dethrone someone who hasn't lost a match in 2 years and has had the belt for over a year.
Bro, I don't know what it is, Chris. I don't know what it is. I don't know if it's because I'm, kind of a little jaded, but I'm listen, bro, demon makeup, no demon. Bro, I'm sorry, man. When you put a Finn Balor in a ring with Roman Reigns, I ain't buying that for a second. I'm looking at the size of Balor. No, bro. Now, AJ, I could buy that.
Yeah,
I could buy an AJ upset over Reigns. AJ's a little bigger, and he's so good at what he does, and it's almost like you could tell a story of AJ just kind of wearing Reigns down and out wrestling Reigns. I buy that, bro, but I would have never bought Finn Balor in a million years.
100% agree. Yeah. And I wouldn't be so. I wouldn't be opposed to an upset from AJ, but I think what you should do, you really should have someone who can really take that rub. And what you do, in my opinion, with AJ is you have him as the top babyface for the rest of the year, at least, because what you do is for a good 3-month feud, you have different types of matches. You have a long build with AJ, say, for instance, from October to January, right before Rumble. You have a good 2-3 month feud as AJ is a top babyface. Very close calls. AJ knows how to work with anybody. Come on now. He's AJ Styles. So he knows how to make himself look good while still taking the loss. I mean, he did that against The Undertaker. He looked really, really good in his WrestleMania match against The Undertaker. So what AJ does, I believe, is that he has a really good babyface feud. He makes himself the next top babyface on SmackDown for at least a good 2-3 months. That eventually makes Reigns looks even better. Whoever dethrones Reigns at WrestleMania, there you go. As far as who's going to get that rub, that's the question that's left to be desired. But AJ can really do a really good job for the next few months, continuing to pay it forward and eventually having that baby face get that rub.
And bro, here's another thing you could do, man. You could do a little storyline angle where AJ says, you know what, I've been in this business for so many years, blah 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 blah, and I might be at the tail end. And man, it's at times like this I really need to challenge myself. I put challenges in front of me my whole career, this and that, bro. What happens if AJ basically declares the next match I lose, I retire?
Yeah.
And he goes on a run, bro.
Yeah,
and then all of a sudden, whether it's Reigns or somebody, defeats Reigns, and all of a sudden now it's head to head. Now you really believe, is AJ going to upset? Because if he doesn't, on his own word, he's got to walk away. You can make that a very, very believable angle, bro.
I like it. That would be a really good Royal Rumble match statistic.
Yeah.
Or really, to be honest with you, I think if you play it right, that could be a Mania match.
You could be, bro. That's the thing. You would believe in AJ because he is that good.
Yeah. Agreed. All right. Next, we have Dewdrop. Does she stay or does she go?
She's got to stay, bro. It's too early to switch brands. She's got to make a name for herself. She's got to find her little niche on SmackDown, find her little groove, find her little place. Way, way too early, too premature to move her over.
Mm-hmm. So the thing is, even on Raw, though, she's been so up and down and everywhere. Mm-hmm. Typically, they do the switch. They try to split up an angle that kind of had some life that really didn't by just splitting them up. So I guess the byproduct of Dewdrop is, does this mean that Eva Marie goes?
Eva Marie's got to go, bro. She's got to disappear first.
Yeah,
got to disappear first. Yeah. But bro, here's the problem with Dewdrop. When you look at it, who are they going to work her against? And the problem is, you bring this up all the time, Chris. The problem is, bro, we don't know who baby faces and heels are.
Yeah.
I mean, because I'm thinking, okay, bro, do you put her in a program with Shayna Baszler? But then wait, isn't Shayna a baby?
Right. That's right.
So I mean, that's my immediate problem. Who do you put her in a program with? I don't know. And who are the singles competitors outside of Charlotte and Alexis doing her thing? But it seems like everybody else is in a tag team.
Yeah, I would be interested, because I always think of, like, if I was a WWE booker, my bookends every year would be Mania. It would be Mania to Mania, like every year. That would be my that would be the way that I would book from Mania to Mania every year. Mm-hmm. And so when I'm thinking about like what could be, and things could, nuances can change in between based on the hotness of whatever was going on. You got to be creative enough, or you got to be open enough to make those nuance and those changes if something different happens.
Mm-hmm.
So I would be okay with a Dewdrop Nia Jax Mania match. If you really want to make Dewdrop a big babyface, which I'm fine with. I mean, I think there's a lot of asset in Dewdrop as far as, like, her body and people, being more embracive of how they look and things like that. And I'm fine with that. I think that conveys a good message that you can be a bigger lady, but still super athletic and pretty. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. And so I think that there's equity there, But at the same time, the way that they're booking her right now doesn't accentuate any of that to me. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? So I have a problem with what they're
And
doing.
Chris, I'm telling you, like the first one that came to mind, I was thinking along the same lines as you was Nia Jax, but then I'm like, wait a minute, man. The last time we saw Nia, she was screaming on the ground and there was the baby face sympathy.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? But yeah, I mean, if they kept her strong as a heel,
Yep.
and you know, bro, listen, Dewdrop is going to be again, and that's why they're already trying to get the dance in and all that stuff. She's gonna be a lovable character for the kids.
Yeah.
So if you had a strong heel like Nia was on that track, and that yeah, bro, that would definitely work.
Yeah. I think it has a really good like Titan type of feel to it.
Yeah, I
if
agree
it's
with that.
done right.
I agree.
Yeah.
Yep.
All right. Next, ladies, I hope you're enjoying this game, Vince. All right, looks like you are. You ready to rock? Here we go. Next, we have where does Asuka go, Vince?
She's got to go to.
She
She needs a new life, man. She needs a new life. She's dead on the vine on Raw. Haven't seen her for ages. But again, bro, see, if it's me, I'm setting some kind of a table. Maybe whatchamacallit, the Becky goes on a run and we forgot all about Oscar. I really believe in setting the table. And then if Oscar just showed back up on the scene, you could have a really, really good program. Because if I remember, and now that I wasn't even thinking about this, but wasn't Becky the one who handed the belt off?
She did.
I didn't even put those pieces together. But she's been away for so long now, bro, that if you set the table up for her a little bit, she can come back to a big pop.
I totally agree. I love Bianca. I want them to push Bianca to the moon. But here's the thing. You did this in the Attitude Era, and I can never forget how Austin really painted this picture. A good main eventer is either being the champion, being the number one contender, or in a feud based on a distraction of chasing the title. All right. And so you can do the same thing with Bianca Belair. She doesn't necessarily need to get the championship back before Mania. She can still be she's still young, you know, she's still being groomed. She can still be that slotted baby face next in line, continue to get the baby face. You know, there's a heel that's over there that's really trying to that can really distract her from being in the title scene. They can go off and do that, and that's fine. So what you have now is you continue to set the table up with Becky, still continue to heal it up, and you make such a good point because Asuka just coming back on SmackDown just as an announcement. Yeah, that's a total dud. I mean, that's
you gotta, bro. You know what it is? You gotta make people really forget about her, and you're halfway there.
Yes,
because she hasn't been on for so long. You're halfway there. If you prolong that now a couple more months, and people completely forget about her, boom.
Yep, absolutely. And I agree with you because you set it up with Becky. Becky continued to get that heat, and you're like, oh man, she's now you get to the point where you're loving to hate her, and then you want someone to take her out because right now Bianca's being distracted. Who's that next person?
Bro, I'm telling you, if it were me, and I was the WWE, bro, I would start putting things out there and working dirt sheets and everything else like this that Asuka's in negotiations with AEW. That's what I would put out there. If I was I would really put that out there, bro. And they can do that, bro. and then have her return. That's what I would do.
That would be really nice. Really interesting. Yeah, I think you really got to make that type of investment, Asuka. Asuka's such a commodity.
Yeah, I agree.
And she was undefeated for like a year and a half. Even Goldberg was tweeting about her being undefeated and the streak and things like that. She retired the NXT championship, her reign. She was injured, and she came up to the main roster. Had a decent push in the very beginning, but she kept She kept falling under that Charlotte Flair curse. Lost
Yeah.
against her at WrestleMania, and then right before WrestleMania, before that the women's triple threat match, just kept losing against her. And I think that really, really hurt her career. She's tried to bounce back a few times, won the tag team title, won the women's championship, and things like that. But there's just something about Asuka that is there. I mean, she has the facial, she has the ability, she's really good in the ring, great character, but I just think she's just being booked so poorly.
And again, bro, you talk about a character that is super, super kid fan friendly.
Yes,
The mask, which they could sell a ton of, and just the colors and the robes. And I mean, bro, that's a tailor-made kid gimmick.
Absolutely. Yep. All right. We got 3 more, Vince. You ready to rock?
Are you going to tease me with the bouncies? You can throw the bouncies on there. Are they on the list? I'm going to wait and see. I'm waiting for the bouncies to come up, man, after the drum roll. Go ahead, man. Go ahead.
I might let you down on that one, but we'll see. All right, next drum roll. Here we go. Drew McIntyre, Vince.
Oh, this is tough. This is tough. Bro, I think if you don't allow Drew to reestablish himself and you move him over to the other show right now, I think that could hurt him dramatically. I think he would be going over to SmackDown with no credibility because this is another guy, bro. You can get back into Reigns with McIntyre in a minute, but he's got to be rebuilt first, bro. He's got to be rebuilt. And I think the writing is on the wall, bro, based on what they did last week, him coming out the end of the Lashley thing. That's where they're going. So I would be shocked if either one of those guys moved. But I really, really think you've got to reestablish McIntyre on the Raw brand. Otherwise, it looks like he's moving over to SmackDown because he couldn't cut it on Raw.
Yeah, that's a good point.
You know what I mean?
There's a part of me that thinks that Raw segment is a red herring.
You think?
There's a part of me that thinks it's a red herring, and WWE did that to try to bring some type of spark in a Drew defect. That a part of me thinks that. This is why, because if you just really think about it on paper, like Drew McIntyre came out at the end of Big E, like having his moments, and just a few weeks before that, he was just in U.S. title. He couldn't even cut that much. You know what I mean? And so, again, to be honest with you, I think if there's anyone who would make sense to dethrone Roman Reigns' big thing, it would be Drew at Mania. I would be fine with Drew beating Roman at Mania to finally have someone dethrone Roman Reigns. The problem with it is, though, is that they really, really need to build Drew from the ground up.
Oh, my, absolutely, bro. Especially if you're talking about from October to March. I mean, my gosh, bro, like he would have to be untouchable.
Yeah, and that's what I would do because that's what brought him to the dance in the first place, though, Vince, because he was unstoppable. He was so over as this unstoppable. He was actually a heel. Like going into the Royal Rumble when he eliminated Brock, he was still doing the heel thing. Yeah. And he was so over because he was just plowing through people. You know what I mean? It was kind of like that Goldberg effect. People crap on Goldberg a lot. Yeah. But when Drew kind of looks like Goldberg with him plowing through people, he's over all of a sudden. Yeah. And so that's interesting. I think, though, it's a tried and true, regardless of what people, whatever recency bias and everything people want to do. It's a tried and true method. People like squashes. All right. Mm-hmm. And so if we go back to that Drew squashing that brought him to the dance like he did before, you plow through people. You plow through Ziggler if he goes. You plow through, Sami Zayn. I think Sami Zayn and Drew would be a decent, type of feud in the beginning and things like that. But there's no like catch can. There's no wrestling clinic, 15, 20 minute. No. You could have for like a month or two, Drew just plowing through Zayn, and Zayn just keep finding a way to like bug Drew. He keeps going through them. And then you bring someone else in a Royal Rumble time, things like that. I really think, and if you want to have Drew win the Royal Rumble again, maybe, but he's got to have a lot of steam.
A lot, bro. A lot
of babyface.
I just don't know, bro. At this point and the way they book, I don't know if they're making that kind of commitment to anybody. I just don't know, man. I just don't see it,
Yeah, they have the potential to do it, though.
They do.
I think it's there. And again, if I'm looking realistically, anyone on the roster other than Brock, but take Brock out the picture. If I think of a full timer, anyone on the roster right now that makes sense to beat Roman Reigns, it would be Drew McIntyre.
Yeah,
I just can't. I can't find any other babyface on the roster. I'd be cool if Big E did it, but he's WWE champ. Realistically speaking, I can't think of anybody else on a WWE roster that makes sense to dethrone a Roman Reigns that by Mania he wouldn't have lost a match in 2.5 years. You know what I mean? So it just makes sense. And I think that is the type of rub that Drew needs, to make him go, to the next level. So, all right, here we go. Karrion Kross, Vince. Does he stay or does he go?
Oh, humongous?
Yeah. Does he? Does he stay or does he go, Vince?
Lord, bro. A lot. He falls into the dewdrop category, bro. A lot of these people that just debuted, I just don't think you can move him. I just don't. If it's me and he debuted on Raw, he's got a couple of matches under his belt, we really, really need to develop him first. Yep. So I think he kind of falls under that dewdrop category.
I agree. I don't think it's. I don't think it's time. I think it would be very premature, especially again if you think about it. Whoever moves to SmackDown who's a heel, they're going to be the second heel at best right now. Mm-hmm. They're going to be pegged under Reigns. And so right now, if you're really trying to build Karrion Kross as the premier or semi-premier heel, it'll be much easier to do it right now on Raw than it is SmackDown. I mean, there's it's Reigns and then it's everybody else, and so it'll be a much harder path to do it with him on SmackDown. So yep, I agree. All right, last one.
Here the bouncies.
Here we go. Give me
the bouncies, baby. Come on, give me the bouncies. All right,
last one. Here we go. Damian Priest.
Again, bro, he's in that category. He's a newbie. He's a newbie, bro. You can't switch these guys over. You got to let them develop themselves on the Raw brand, I believe. I mean, even though, he's been around a little longer, but really not that much longer.
Yeah, I think there's a part of me that thinks that they're going to do they a lot of times they do a title swap. And so I think they're going to do the title swap with him because like he's done Sheamus ad nauseum.
What do you mean the title swap? What do you mean by that, bro?
So they either do the top titles when they used to do the drafts a lot. They would switch either the world champion
and they switch
the WWE champion, or they would do the mid card champions. The Intercontinental champion goes one spot, and then the US goes the other spot. So I think they'll do the title swap. They even did. I think the last time they did. Street Profits and New Day, I think, swap. And they just swapped titles.
So you gonna do this? Yeah. See, it's funny, Chris, because we just had we just had back-to-back characters that to me would be very interesting, and if done correctly, not that they do things correctly anymore, you can get both guys over. Bro, I think right now a Karrion Kross, Damian Priest angle, I think that could be huge if done correctly, getting both guys over. And you've got them both right there on Raw already. God, I think, bro, see, I'm telling you, man, if done the correct way, that's something I'm interested in.
I would be interested in that. So okay, say if we go the title swap type of idea, okay? That means that Nakamura, who's the current Intercontinental Champion, would go over to Raw. If I'm thinking about it, there's a part of me that feels like they're going to do, because they do that a lot with the swapping people because of the titles. But I'm with you though. I would I like Nakamura. I like the whole him and Rick Boogs thing. That's definitely a revitalization of Nakamura, who was really struggling as a character as far as his own being booked, is concerned. But I really think there's some potential equity in Karrion Kross versus Damian Priest. And I'd even say this. I'm fine with this. Is the reason why I like the heels being the champs. Get the heat. I'm even fine with Karrion Kross winning the title. Give him some time. Give him like probably Survivor Series, something like that. That's about a month and a half, a little under 2 months from now. And so I think you just, for 8 weeks, just boom, plow, build that heat. I think 8 weeks is enough. 7-8 weeks is enough to build that heat, keep plowing through people, tame down the cheesy promos. Don't even do a lot of stuff. Take the Lord Humongous mask off. And just, I wouldn't even do like the back and forth matches with like, come on, you're having back and forth matches with Jeff Hardy. I mean, he's a Hall of Famer, but how they're booking him, he's not a back and forth.
Bro, if you do a back and forth, Chris, here's what I would do, and nothing's been done like this for a long time. You know, you could have here a clear-cut heel and a clear-cut babyface. The kids, the younger guys, you know, bro, believe it or not, on a roster that really lacks of coolness, Damian Priest is cool. Gonna get over with the teenagers. The dude is cool. And Karrion Kross is the heel, bro. I see, to me, like, I would do something like, bro, do a best of 7, and match by match, they get to pick the match of their choice. So now you can get Kross's gimmick over, because everything's going to be torture and first blood and this, that, and the other thing, and use Kross, you know, good wrestling ability. He could have different types of matches, but do that type of a program, bro, where they can both get their gimmicks over. I would actually love to see this, bro.
Do you? I'm buying the feud. Do you think that Kross needs to be built stronger though for him to be believable?
I think he does, bro. And I'll tell you why, Chris. And a lot of times, there's still a little jadedness in me, because there are still remnants of guys I worked with. And, bro, I'll tell you, man, we talked a little bit about it. When I saw him in the ring with Riker, I'm like, bro, I think Riker could take Karrion Kross. I mean, I really felt that way. So, yes, bro, I do agree with you. But, bro, it's like what it needs to be, though, bro, is it needs to be like the torture, like almost, bro, where he's getting DQ'd. Like the wins and losses don't matter. Like I'm going to hurt you. I'm going to take your soul. You're going to drop to your knees and pray. That's what it should be. Maybe the gimmick should be, bro, torture your opponent until they pray for forgiveness. This guy shouldn't be caring about 1, 2, 3s.
Right.
It's and tie that into the gimmick. But yeah, bro, I agree with you. If they see, bro, but that's the problem, Chris. We've done so many of these shows. They don't commit to anything for a period of time, bro.
No. Clearly, because he couldn't even bring his girl with him on the main roster.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, that's ridiculous. So,
yeah.
What do you think, Vince? Did you enjoy it?
Yeah, no, that was a lot of fun.